Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and thank you so much for being here today. Happy April 2024. In today's reading vlog, y'all, I'm so excited. We are reading Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Oh my gosh. So I got into her whole ACOTAR series in December of 2023. I read the first one, and then I read three more in January of 2024, and then I read the fifth book in February of 2024. And so I've been meaning to start the Throne of Glass series following ACOTAR. I did read the Assassin's Blade. When did I read that? Did I read that last month? I think I read the Assassin's Blade in March. And so here we are in April. Now I'm reading Throne of Glass. I know there's, how would you word it? I know there's people who want to read it in publication order, the whole series, and then other people want to read it in, what's it called, romantic order. Read it however you want. I know Sarah J Maas came out with the first three books in the Throne of Glass series. This is book number 1. And then the fourth book that she published was Assassin's Blade. However, the Assassin's Blade is the prequel to this whole series. So do what you want. I don't care. I read the Assassin's Blade first because, again, it's the prequel. And then it's 5 little novellas, and I vlogged all 5 of those as are on my channel. But where the 5th novella ended is where this book picks up. So I like the order that I'm reading it in, but again, do what you want. But I'm so excited. Y'all, this book came out 12 years ago. It came out in August of 2012. So almost 12 years ago, 11 and a half years ago. My gosh, it has over 1.5 million reviews between Amazon and Goodreads, and it has between a 4.2 and a 4.5 star rating. I'm hoping that I give it a 5. I hope I give it 5 stars. I cannot wait to see what Celaena is up to. It is, I believe it's 428 pages. I purchased it on my Kindle because it was $8. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this book because I don't want there to be any spoilers from the Assassin's Blade. So I'm not going to say how this book starts off because I know how it starts off. It starts off the way the 5th novella ended, but we'll just say that Celaena wants to win her freedom back. So she goes to the king, who I guess sits behind a throne of glass. Maybe that's why this book is titled that. But she goes to him to win her freedom. He says, yeah, I'll grant you your freedom if you enter into a competition against 23 murderers, thieves, and warriors. So she has to kill 23 people that all, I guess, want to kill her as well. And if she wins, she'll get her freedom and be dubbed the king's champion. Well, during this whole quest, all of her competitors start dying mysteriously one by one. So instead of it becoming a fight for her freedom, it more becomes a fight for her survival. And then I guess there's 3 people that are thrown in here. There's a prince, a princess, and a captain. The prince is there to provoke her, the princess is there to befriend her, and the captain is there to protect her. So is there going to be a romance between her and the captain? Because I am such a romance girly at heart. I would like to know. But anyways, let's just jump into this. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Hey guys, so it is the next day. I'm so sorry. I filmed that intro and then my husband got off work early. So sorry. But I did start reading the book last night. And okay, so I will say that Celaena has spent the last year, so 1 full year, as a prisoner of war at this camp. She's in the salt mines. So I'll tell y'all that because, I mean, that's necessary to know. It's brutal conditions. It's not graphic. The book has not been graphic so far, but that has been her life so far. So we've met the captain of the Royal Guard, Because remember, we're going to meet a prince, a princess, and a captain. And the captain is the one that's supposed to be there to protect her. He's not very kind. He's not protecting her right now. His name is Chaol Westfall. And I had listened to a Sarah J. Maas YouTube video because she has her own channel that she never posts to. But I had watched a video of hers that went over the pronunciation of these characters. So his name is Chaol. I know a lot of people call him Cole. Chaol is her new overseer. And I guess that means, I don't even know if that really means bodyguard. In the synopsis, it says bodyguard, but I think he's just there to make sure she doesn't escape because she's here on punishment. So he's her new overseer. She had a previous overseer that she murdered. She embedded him in the gut with a pickaxe because they give her access to a pickaxe. That's what she's using in the salt mines. But anyways, they seem to not like each other. I mean, obviously she doesn't like anybody because she's here against her will. He is just being mean to her for no reason, I guess because she's a prisoner, and he's just mean to all of them. But I've heard of this character so many times. So are they gonna have a romance? Celaena and Chaol? So is this gonna be some sort of enemies to lovers romance? A prisoner and her bodyguard? Also, we have met the Crown Prince. So Celaena is covered head to toe in shackles, and Chaol has led her into this building. It's not a castle. He's led her into this building that's, I guess, right off the salt mines. And there are 6 guards behind them because Celaena, if y'all didn't read the first book, I mean, the name of it is The Assassin's Blade. Celaena is an assassin, and she has taken out a lot of people. And so that is why she is here. She has been caught. No one ever knew who she was. They didn't know she was a woman. They didn't know her name. They didn't know what she looked like. She does get caught though, and so that's why she's here in the salt mines. So he's leading her into this building. He takes her into the throne room, and that's where we meet the Crown Prince. His name is Dorian. And it's weird because Celaena thinks he's really handsome, and she thinks Chaol is all right. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a love triangle, which I really hope not. But anyways, she meets him, and the prince is just staring at her and looking her up and down and saying, "You look really good for having been here for 1 year. Also, the life expectancy for being in the salt mines is 1 month. So how have you lasted 1 year?" And she tells him, "Well, your father, the king, has ordered everyone to keep me alive for at least 1 year so I can endure all that this punishment has to offer." Okay, so the prince, remember, she's talking to the son of the king, the crown prince. The prince says, "I have a proposition for you." And Celaena says, "Okay, I'm listening." And he says that his father, the king, needs a champion. It's called a king's champion. And it is someone that would do his dirty work for him and keep his opponents quiet, if you know what I mean. Because, you know, she's an assassin. This is what she does. She could easily do this. And she's just standing there listening to him. And he says, "You would have to do this for 6 years. 6 years. And then you would be granted your freedom. You can run off and do whatever you want. If you decline this offer, though, it's back to the salt mines for the rest of your life." But really, it wouldn't, you know, we know that the life expectancy in the salt mines is 1 month. So she's thinking about it, but 6 years, that's still a long time to be working directly under the king who put you here in the first place. Okay, just kidding. The position is not being offered to her just yet. The king is hosting a competition, which is what we read about in the synopsis. It would be a competition with 23 other potential king's champions. These are the murderers, thieves, warriors that we read about in the synopsis. So it would be a competition with them, and apparently this competition is months and months long. So I'm wondering if that's the whole premise of this book. This book is just about the competition. So she would have to go up against these 23 other people and take them all out. But remember, something mysterious is going to take them out anyways, one by one. She doesn't know that yet. But the prince then throws in, if Celaena decides to go in with the possibility to be the prince's champion, not the king's champion, then he will get his father to grant her freedom after 5 years instead of 6. So she starts bargaining back and forth with him. She wants to be free after 3 years. He says 4 years. She says fine. So here we go. I guess we're entering into this competition. And it's the king is looking for a king's champion. But I guess she's going into it and she's going to be the prince's champion. So I don't even know. Has he talked to his dad about this? But here we go. In case y'all were wondering their ages, because in the Assassin's Blade, in all 5 novellas, everyone is so young. I mean, that book starts off with Celaena being 16, and then as you travel throughout it, she is on the higher end of 17. So now in this book, she's 18 years old, and Chaol is 22 years old. This book is a fantasy book, if y'all didn't know that. I just wanted to throw that out there. And magic was banned many years ago by the king, and that is touched on a lot in the first book, The Assassin's Blade. But now Celaena, she's thinking about how there's magic in her blood. I guess her ancestors had magic. I'm not sure. But does she have gifts? Because that was never brought up in the Assassin's Blade. And now I'm wondering if she has some sort of suppressed magical powers that we, the reader, are unaware of. I'm so curious about this now. Okay, I need to know, is this going to be a love triangle with Chaol and Prince Dorian? Or is Chaol not even part of this? Am I just making up Celaena and Chaol being together? Because he's a name that I had heard of. Dorian, I don't remember if I had heard of Dorian, but Dorian and Celaena keep staring at each other, and she thinks he's handsome and regal, and he thinks she's a lovely girl with a pretty face. But then her and Chaol, sometimes they're really cute together, and other times he's really mean. So I don't know. In the synopsis, it just said that the prince is there to provoke her and the captain is there to protect her. I was thinking this was going to be a bodyguard assassin romance. Now I'm wondering if this is going to be a prince and an assassin romance, or if it's going to be a love triangle. I really need to know. I'm rooting for Chaol, even though he's treating her like the criminal that she is. But who? Is she going to end up with one of these guys? They have been traveling for 2 weeks at this point, going from the salt mines to the glass castle. And that competition, it starts tomorrow. Something's up with the prince and the king, with the son and the father. Prince Dorian, he appears to hate his dad. The king just keeps telling Dorian to grow up and marry a proper woman. And then he mentions some woman that was banging on the castle gate and screaming out that Prince Dorian broke her heart. And then he mentions something about Dorian having illegitimate heirs to the throne. So maybe Prince Dorian got some woman pregnant. Also, some servant girl that was talking to Celaena was talking about all the women and lady friends that Prince Dorian has. And then she says, His Highness has a kind heart. So I guess Prince Dorian is a man whore. He seems to be getting around, and the king is not happy about that. And he's possibly gotten a few women pregnant, and there are some illegitimate heirs to the throne that the king is not wanting anything to do with. And he's just saying, grow up, marry a proper woman, give me a grandson or two, and then we can talk. And then Prince Dorian, he says something along the lines of, well, what would you do if I dated Celaena? What? Where did that come from? And the king just says, look, you're sponsoring her in this competition, and that is it. She is using you just as much as you're using her. And don't you forget that. Also, regardless of you being my son, I'm still the king. You need to obey me. You have to obey me. So I don't know what's going on. Is the prince and Selena gonna have something? Sorry, I know I keep asking that. I just really thought it was gonna be Chaol. So I don't know. But anyways, regardless, the prince and his son don't get along. Well, the prince and Selena exchanged some notes. It was so cute. So Selena was really bored and she asked Chaol to give her a tour because she can't go anywhere alone. Chaol has to escort her everywhere. And there's a library in the castle with over 1 million books in it. And Selena is just losing her mind. She's so happy. And Chaol is saying, I didn't know assassins read. And she says, yeah, I read as much as I can. And she's just swooning over all these books. And she wants to read some of them, or all of them. And Chaol just says, but these aren't your books. These are the king's and his family's. You're not noble blood. You would have to get permission. So then Selena goes back to her chambers. She's alone. Chaol's not there. And she writes a note to the prince and says, could I please read some of the books in your library? Could you please just help a wench like me? Sincerely, your assassin. Oh my gosh. And then she gives it to one of the servants and says, please give this letter to the prince. It's important. You have to give it to him right now. And then the servant returns about 30 minutes later holding a bunch of books and a letter. And it's a letter from the prince saying, you can read whatever books you want to read in my library, but these 7 books, please read them first so that we can discuss, because I've read them and I've loved them. And then he signs it, your beloved crown prince or whatever. Okay, that was really cute. That was cute. Selena is dressed really pretty because some servants dressed her and did her hair. And Chaol is a little open-mouthed and then finally says, you look rather pretty today. Oh, my heart. All right, the competition is about to begin. It is for 13 weeks, and there are 24 of them. Remember, it's Selena and then the other 23 people. So they have training every single day, and then once a week they have an elimination test. And then they said, basically, in so many words, that if too many people are surviving, they will continue having elimination tests. So this is about to get gory, possibly. I do feel like this is going to be a love triangle with Selena, the prince, and Chaol, only because the prince, I don't know if he's threatened by Chaol. I mean, you're the prince. What are you threatened by? But he's just really condescending to Chaol a lot. He's very smug and arrogant. And every time he's done saying something terrible, he winks at him. Oh, I can't stand when people wink. So I don't know. Let's just see what happens with these 3. We're 20% into the book, and as the prince was leaving, he took Selena's hand and he kissed it. And he did it in front of this other lady, Kaltain, I think is her name, who's obsessed with the prince. And I don't know if he was trying to make her jealous or what, but she was not okay with that, Kaltain, whoever she is. But Selena just, oh my gosh, he kissed my hand. Hey, it's the next day again. I'm so sorry. I haven't been able to finish a book in just a couple of days in a hot minute. So anyways, I've been reading this. Who is Knox Owen? Is that someone that's part of the Throne of Glass series? Is this the 3rd person in this romance? They keep giving each other looks for the last couple of days. He's a thief, and he's got dark hair and gray eyes. All these characters, they always have gray eyes or violet eyes. But who's Knox now? We keep reading about those 2 staring at each other. How many men does Selena have in this book? Okay, we've met the princess. We're 100 pages in. Her name is Princess Nehemia. Seems like a good person. I like her so far. She's not related to the prince or the king. She's the daughter to another king in another area, and she's claiming that she's here in this area to learn all of their customs and their way of life, but Celaena knows that she's lying about that. But besides her intentions for being here in Rifthold, that's where they are, I, I like her though. Besides that, I think she's still a good person. All right, we're 25% into this book, and the royal hounds, the royal dogs, have gone missing, and their half-eaten remains were found in the northern wing of the castle. Oh, and then we get to where we're one day out from the first test, and one of the competitors was also found brutally slain. I don't know who the heck this Nox character is, but they do have some chemistry. They have been training together. Right now she's teaching him how to throw daggers, and at the end of it he says, hey, next time we pair off in lessons, will you find me so that we can be partners? And she just says, why? And he says, well, because my gold is on you winning this whole thing. Who are you, Nox? Who are you? Whatever Celaena and Prince Dorian are, she sure does think about killing him and his family a lot. Right now she's holding a bow and arrow, and she's thinking about the tip of the arrow going through his throat. But they sure do flirt a lot and have great banter. We are still going through just the daily trainings, and we've had one elimination test so far. Well, we reached the second week of training, and one of the competitors, he just went nuts. We don't know what happened. He just went insane. He started screaming. He started running towards the door. And of course, everyone has multiple guards because all of these people are, murderers, thieves, and assassins. And so everyone, the guards, they all are instructed to kill. You kill immediately if any of these people try to take off. And so the guy is running towards the door, and so they get him with the bow and arrow through the throat, and he dies. But what just happened? Celaena thinks that he was trying to prove a point, but what point was he trying to prove? Also, we learned some more about Prince Dorian and Chaol. They grew up together. They're like brothers. And I know Prince Dorian just keeps, I don't know, he's really smug and arrogant towards Chaol, and he'll say things and then he'll wink at him, and it's so condescending. It makes me roll my eyes, but apparently it's all in fun because they're like brothers to each other, which just makes this love triangle with Celaena so much weirder. But then if you throw Nox in, it's just a big love square. I'm still lost on that. I don't know what's going on with that. But also, what the heck is going on with these competitors? Celaena and Dorian are so attracted to each other, and they're always staring at each other, and they're having a moment right now, and it's actually really cute. And with Chaol, they argue a lot. They're definitely, Sarah J. Maas is really revving up that enemies to lovers trope. They argue so much. I mean, every scene. But Dorian and Celaena, she's being cute with the prince right now. Okay, I know I told y'all this is a fantasy book, but it has not really felt like one until right now. I'm on page 190, and this just became a fantasy book. Some fantastical, magical things are going on right now, and I'm a little bit confused, but I'm a little bit intrigued. Also, Celaena found a secret passageway through the room that she's staying in. She's staying in this, y'all, this castle has 600 rooms. I mean, it's massive. I want to find some fanfic of that, but the fantasy part of it just showed itself. In her love square, who is she going to choose? Is this a why choose? On top of that, she's also just trying to figure out the evil that's lurking around this castle and killing all the competitors. 3 competitors so far have been murdered, and it has been so gruesome. Their organs are missing out of their chest cavity, and holes have been drilled into their skull and their brain is missing. What is happening? I'm 62% into this book. I don't have a ton of updates. Selena and Kale are just still trying to figure out what the heck is going on with all of these competitors that keep getting murdered. But on top of that, Kale and Dorian keep going to visit Selena in her chambers, and at one point they both show up at the same time, and it's later in the evening. She's asleep, and they both kind of have a standoff and just keep saying to each other, what are you doing here? No, what are you doing here? And so at the moment, Prince Dorian is in her room. It's the middle of the day, and they don't have training right now, and she's reading a book that has a lot of smut in it, and he doesn't know that. He grabs the book and turns it to a random page and just starts reading it out loud. And she says, it's a literary experience, and if you read it after I'm done, it'll give you some tips and tricks on what to do with your lady friends. I am 75% into this book, and we are nearing the last elimination test. We're down to 5 competitors. One of them will get eliminated, and then the remaining 4 will have to be in a duel, I think. And then the one champion will be the King's champion. She's training for that, and then still trying to figure out what this is, what this creature is, or if it's a person, or if it's a person controlling a creature that is killing all these competitors. She has an idea of who it is. I think she's wrong, but I don't know. We'll see. But also, since she's thinking it could be someone controlling a creature, or it could just be a creature, she's also wondering, how the heck is magic back? How is magic back in the land when that was taken away so long ago? And that was touched on in the first book, in The Assassin's Blade. But yeah, she has a lot of questions, and so do I. Hello, it's the next day. So I am on page 391. I'm 93% into this book. I'm almost done. I will say that I hate the king. I mean, that's no surprise there, right? But I'll check in with y'all and give y'all a final review whenever I finish this. I really like the book. I still really like it. I'm between a 4 and 5 star. Y'all, I gave this book 5 stars. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, 5 stars. I cannot wait to continue in this series. I don't want to say it left off on a cliffhanger. It kind of did, kind of did not. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read the rest of these. Thank y'all so much for coming along on this journey with me, and make sure you pick this book up. Let's all read the series together. Bye, y'all.